preview here. If I could sing a love song. doing good. I'm doing good. Um, Good to have you in. Today's topic, we'll start in 10 minutes and we'll talk about if. Thanks for coming though. I'm doing good. It is actually 1:51 in the afternoon. No, USA, just below Canada. Wow, it's about 9 hours to the border, so not just under. My state does border up, but I'm in southeast Idaho, the northern part of the Panhandle, borders Canada. But that'd be even longer to go to that part of Idaho to get to Canada. I just go straight up through Montana. In fact, I was just in Montana yesterday at Crystal Park. It's a state park up in Montana, and you can go pay $5 and you can go look for crystals. You can see the crystals on this rock. There's another rock I got. I had higher hopes for this one. Thought that one would be shinier when I cleaned it up, but this one seems to be the shiniest. I've got some others to clean up, but these two were the biggest. And my boy went to my mom's, so TR Raid, all right, woo! Welcome in, everybody. 1 second, I gotta grab something. Excellent. Hi, everybody. I titled the today's live stream "If," and we'll be covering that in 6 minutes. But I was just talking with GM's Fun Channel about where I was this weekend. I was out of cell range. Went up to Montana. It's about three and a half hours from my house to go up to Crystal Park, and you can pay $5, and it was just for parking actually. So it was just $5. It wasn't $5 a person. My wife and my 9-year-old, and we hunted for crystals in this. It's like 200 acres or something. But and I got some other pictures. I'm gonna do a video later, but you can really see the crystals on this rock. And here's the other ones. I got some others I'll clean up. I got a bag, my wife got a bag, and my son got a bag, but we dropped him off part way. My mom met us, and he's gone to spend time with grandma, so. Anyway, that's where we were yesterday. It was a very fun trip. I recommend going. It's up by Butte, Montana. We just go up I-15 from near our house. It's cool. We've gone up to the Lewis and Clark caverns, the those are cool. They're not too far from there. So I'd like to go do that again and stay and go to this Sacagawea Inn Hotel and eat dinner there on a Sunday, because I think every Sunday they have all you can eat crab, and that's what we did. I'm the only one that eats it in our family, but it was amazing for me. Forgive me, I don't know where to exactly look on this. Oh, my camera's right there, right? Keep wanting to look over here. I've got you on my iPad. My phone's right here. So, anyway, so we're doing. In a couple minutes, we'll talk about the topic. Thanks for everybody for coming in. I really appreciate it. Is the sound okay? I really appreciate the raid. Really appreciate the support. I just checked. I've got about 985 hours left of my watch time left. So I'm coming right along. I've done a bunch of lives. A lot of silent ones. I'm just trying to get my watch hours up, but I've seen raids and I've been part of raids, gone over with raids, and they're fun. They can be fun. I never thought I'd get somebody would raid me. So on Thursday or Friday, when TR said he was gonna raid me for the week and be ready at 4 o'clock his time, it's 2 o'clock my time, to be ready and up my game. So I'm gonna do my game. I'm a little nervous. I've never had this many people in a live, so but I'll try to make it worth your while. Hey Gizmo, you want to come say hi from over here? Oh no, she doesn't want to come say hi. If you've watched some of my videos, watch the one she makes good appearances in her the found money ones. I'll be making a video of the penny or dime or nickel that I found, occasionally a quarter, but mostly pennies. And she jumps up on the table and has to be part of the video, so it's hilarious. We got a new cat in the house too, and so she's been a little upset that there's somebody new, and it wasn't my idea to get another cat. I grew up with animals were outside. I grew up on a farm, so animals didn't learn inside. So now I have 2 cats inside and Lily, our dog. And I wouldn't trade Lily or Gizmo. Otis, the new cat, I've not bonded with yet, so I can't say can't imagine life without him. I'm sure it will come. You like the 1967 penny? That was good. That was good. I like it when I find old pennies. Usually they're brand new, shiny, but that one was a good one. It was right in front of the newsstand, and they're free. You pick them. It's a newspaper type of thing. I'll have to get one. Should have gotten one, and it's an old newspaper. It's basically like classifieds. You sell stuff in it. Called the Thrifty Nickel. I don't know. I think it's just pretty local there, right? I don't know. Anyway, so today's topic, I think it's 2 o'clock, so I'm going to try and be punctual. because the TR show, we were aiming for punctuality. I'm not the most punctual person either, but I think that's what we were aiming for on Thursday and Friday via Amy Conoval. Hope I don't butcher your name. Anyway, we're gonna be punctual. We're starting the if. So, if is a good question. The what ifs in life, right? There's a lot of those. What if this had happened? What if my family lost their farm when I was a mid-teenager, 14, 15 years old? And what ifs? You know, I could have been doing that. And I like that kind of, I like the agronomy side of life. Agronomy is the science of agriculture, farming. But that didn't, life leads down different paths, and for a reason. But there's some painful roads you've traveled down that scarred you all up to heck, right? And what if that hadn't happened? I'd be somewhere else and not had to have experienced that. But in further thinking about it, those experiences really shaped you. They made you who you are. And without those, you wouldn't be where you are. So, try and get the light. Got quite a bit of light in the background there. I need a microphone. I could go get my megaphone. Maybe I should do that. Maybe for the next one, because I got 5. I've promised 5 of these lives for an hour. See how they go. Let's go back to the topic. I don't remember where the camera is, so I'm looking straight into it. Anyway, with the topic if. So.
Where's your other kitty, Otis?
That's what I meant.
Give me a second.
Go. I shall see you here in a bit.
Okay. So if talked about so I was somewhere and they were talking about if, and it reminded me of this poem, If, and then it reminded me of my channel's name, Listen Well, and that's so that came from the way I see life through is poetry. Like I would say, TR, for example, sees it through guitar playing, through music. Um, Somebody that quilts might see it through quilting. Somebody that, what are some other videos I watch? Some um, beekeeping. They see it through beekeeping. The lens I see things through is poetry. I either want to express it in that, or I think, oh, that'd be a good poem, or that reminds me of a poem, or that reminds me of some song lyrics. So that's where I'm coming from, and the listen well is you gotta listen well, not just with your ears that you hear things, but your heart's got to listen, your brain's got to listen, all your senses have got to listen to hear that. Oh, that burns. Give me a second, I gotta wash that out. Well. Good grief. Sorry, things were not. If there's a good if I ever started that bad habit, tobacco, it's bad for you. And when you're spitting it in a cup, don't let it shoot back in your eye because that hurts. Spit that so we can have some Diet Coke Zero time. That's a shout out to my boy Marcus Eats. I don't know that he's in the channel, but if you guys haven't watched him, go watch. He does some wonderful mukbangs, and he used to do lives, and I used to go on his lives, and then he got monetized, and he was MIA for a little bit, and then he came back, and he's just does mukbangs, and he's a good guy. He's good egg. And then I wanted to do shout out to my Banana Breaks series, which is a playlist I have, and I break a banana and talk. And so I talked a little bit about that in my lives. Never had this many people in my life. But I felt most comfortable those weren't lives, but they could have been lives, but they weren't. I mean, the longest are like 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, sometimes Gatorade. But, and then I just talk. And anyway, I felt the most relaxed doing those, so bananas are good. Icebreaker for me. And then in some of TR shows that we've talked about bananas, and they've been more of a keep wanting to look over here. They're more of a we eat bananas. they're more of a, it's more of a kind of a joke, but anyway, back to the if. So, if so, also that I was where they were talking about it, and that reminded me of that poem If, and it's by Rudyard Kipling, and so I looked it up, and I did get a biography, and I was thinking maybe I'd read some of it, but if you're unaware of him, he wrote the book, The Jungle Book, and then some books after that that were about the character Mowgli. And those are the only ones I'm really familiar with that he wrote. He was a prolific writer. His politics kind of have left him marginalized, but is that children's music, their books have kept him, he's remained popular. And I've always liked this poem, and I'm going to read it. So hopefully you can hear it. If, and it's from a book, Brother Square Toes, Rewards and Fairies. So it was included in that book of poems. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give away to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pinch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with cowards and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And which is more, you'll be a man, my son. I like that poem. It's a good one. So, if. Like that. Let's have some more banana. $23 people in the house. I got 26 likes. That's crazy. I don't think I've had 26 likes on a normal video, let alone a live, in quite some time. I haven't had on a live ever, but on a regular video, it's been quite some time. and a banana. Puppy Show A. J.A. I'm gonna have to write you down. I don't recognize you. I've been to your house. Have I checked out your channel? I don't know. If. The name of the poem was just If. And that's what I titled my live. There's a lot of if, and that really the theme of that poem is if you can do that, and it's not the what ifs, but the what ifs make me think of that. And it led me to think of that. That poem still holds you out for possibility, so you can kind of a blueprint, really, for some good things. At least part of the things I'd like to see myself, you know. I'd like to be more successful than I am, but I don't want to be, like I said, if you can, what was it with? If you can talk with cowards, but keep your virtue. I want to keep my virtue, but I'd like to be more successful. Walk with kings, but I don't want to lose the common touch. I don't want to be so full of myself that people can't stand to be around me, so I think those are some good aims at any rate. From the banana breaks, I have a sticker thing. Back in my early 20s, I had a roommate, and we would drink just for breakfast. Throughout the whole day, we'd buy a big water, bigger than this, but of bottled store water, and then we'd refill it with tap water, and we'd go through like 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks timed. And for breakfast, all we would have was water and fruit. And on the stickers on the fruit, we would put on the bottle. So then by the time we threw the bottles away, they had tons of stickers. And a couple of my videos, I've tried to start doing that just because my old friend Ben, he did that. And it was a good time. What's the other point I was going to make? puppy show J. Yeah, my lives have been kind of random, but I've committed this week to going live at this time. At so 4 o'clock Eastern. It's my time. Is 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time in the U.S. I have a map somewhere of world times. Anyway, so yes, this time from 2 to 3 my time, and it's 2:22 right now. I'm gonna do that for the next. This might be. I've committed to do it, so usually I'm at work, and I was gonna just do it at work, and I was gonna take my poem with me, but they called and didn't have work for me today, so worked out. I can do it here in my kitchen. My stepdaughter did walk through and make an interruption, and but she didn't really interrupt. She just was going to the laundry, but made me super nervous, and I shut up for a minute. But anyway, this is kind of helps me kick myself in the butt. It helps to have a little bit of a game plan, what we're talking about, and it helped me explain a little bit about my channel, about why I listen well, and there was some advice I'd like to talk about that TR talked about on one of his shows last week, he was telling somebody when he was looking at their videos or something that with the hashtags, and I know that you can have as many hashtags as you want in the descriptions, but the first 3 will show up in the up in blue, so you can click on them up right below the video. And so you want to do those first 3 hashtags in the description with what you want people to be associated. And he talked about doing one of the hashtags as your channel name. Excuse me, hiccups. And he showed in he has the TR show as one of the hashtags, and so if somebody goes and hits on that, that brings up all his videos, and so I'm like, I've never done listen well as one of the hashtags. I always concentrated on what the video's about or what I want. Like my banana breaks, it'd be hashtag banana breaks, hashtag yellow, because they're yellow, and the yellow. I like Van Gogh, and he had a yellow thing with yellow. Anyway, so that's a whole other story. But since then I've done several videos, and I went back in and added, because it was several months in to my YouTube journey before I understood or discovered or made a point to do hashtags. And banana breaks is good. And so I've been doing 3 pretty consistent for a long time, but I did the listen well, and I like that. So I've gone back in and put some in. At least the way I set up the lives, there's no way to do it unless I go back in and re-edit once it posts. So a lot of times I've done a live and then there's no description of them. So I'm just continuing to try and go along to try and get my watch hours. I haven't gone back in there and re-edit them, but I'm trying to do that, and I recommend doing that as part of your channel, your one of the 3 hashtags as one of your as your channel name. I think that's some great advice, and it seems to be helping. Also with my channel name, I just thought of this. It was just it's been percolating up here in my head. So unless you've caught a slip or heard, no one knows my first name. So unless you're related to me and you know. Yes, as do I. Thanks, TR. I appreciate it so much. And anyway, so I was thinking, percolating. Maybe we go along this with the next sort of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Friday we have a big reveal on my live what my first name is. Maybe we have some guesses. Guess what my first name is? I'm not gonna do my whole name. That's kind of silly. What do I look like? Jeremiah Johnson? There's some other famous beard people. Charles? Like Charles Darwin? He had a good beard. James. Trying to think of any Jameses with a good beard. Jesse James did not have a good beard. That was the first James that came to my mind. Who knows the James that makes me think of the John Lee Hooker? Who knows John Lee Hooker? Blues player. He's my favorite blues player. And he sings Boom Boom Boom. One Scotch, one bourbon. But he has a song Bad as Jesse James. And basically, you know, the kids go around, I'm cool. You know? I always think of that. I think of that song now that I'm older. I think y'all do it when you're younger. Now it doesn't. I think you still kind of do it. You still want to be Grizzly Adams. That's right, Grizzly Adams. I dated a girl with the last name Adams once. Yes, Leonard Duke knows who John Lee Hooker is. Bad as Jesse James. I like that one. I gotta no, not John. My brother is John. He actually goes by Jonathan. And it's Jon, not TH. Adam and Eve. William, and they call him. So my great grandpa was named William. His middle name was Brown, and he was really close with my dad. My dad was the only grandson for. He was 8 before his next sibling was born, and then all his on both sides, but especially on the what was it, paternal side, he was as 2, the only grandson, and so he was really close with his grandpa and they farm. My grandpa was a professor at the university, but he had homesteaded, and then his son, my grandpa, took over, and then my dad as well, and so they were close. And he always talked about his grandpa, and so I always liked William, and I always wanted to name my boy William. I got married, and my wife did not like that name. And I have a good friend who's William, and he goes by Bill. Such as it is. And Samuel, somebody said Samuel, was his dad. And then I have a cousin on my mother's side that's Samuel. And that Samuel would be my great grandpa. I've always wanted to go to his gravesite, and I finally went to his gravesite in June. It's about 4 hours south of me, down in Utah. And I have his cane, so he had a cane that he used in his older years, and then it had gone to my grandpa, and then my dad, and then my dad he passed 7 years ago, and so it came to me. But ever since I was little, I wanted to go to his gravesite because there's some pictures of him. So I think I want to go visit his grave. When we went there, found it. It was great. Took pictures with me, the cane, and the grave, and my boy was there. There's a big old marker with her last name on it. And then, to my surprise, his parents were there too, so that was crazy. I wasn't expecting that at all. We're about halfway in to our hour here. Yes, Aisha. Everybody but. So my last name is English, and the H in it is silent. Like the River Thames in England by London is the H is silenced. So it looks like the River Thames, but it's the River Thames. Thanks, Derek. Yeah. I live more in town, so I take some drives out in the country, but I'm still pretty close to be, so I am thankful I'm not that far from the country. Oh, yeah, and especially I should try and put a bit. It's the actual town where he's buried is called Paradise, and it is the little valley that it's in is gorgeous. It just is like in some mountain ranges, and it must get some better water than some other parts of Utah and up here in Idaho, because it stays greener. Let's see. Lost my train of thought. Yes. It's like a bucket list. Or those things you want to do before you die. I know that's weird that you want to go visit a grave before you die, but that's connection. I mean, there's not a house standing or anything that I know of. I don't even know the site where his house would have been in the small little town, but I do know now where the cemetery is. and it's like an out of the way. So there's you'd have, here's the border. I live up here in Idaho, and then here's Utah. And you go the main way, and Salt Lake's here, and you go on down Las Vegas. You keep going, Disneyland, Arizona, you know. But there's a mountain range, the Wasatch Mountains here at the border. And you go usually to Salt Lake if you're going for up here up like a major concert. There's nothing. We live out and there's not big or sporting teams or anything, so you got to go to Salt Lake's like the big place. Or we have other avenues, but if you're going south, that's where you're going. But you go this way, and you go on the other side of the Wasatch Mountains, and you got Logan's a big city, and it's got a state university. But then, and you can go over mountains and get back on this road to go down to Salt Lake, and that's right here. But you got to go about 15 miles this way to Paradise, and then I don't know that there's any. There might be some dirt mountain roads that you can take other places, but nothing paved. So it's like you drive there, and then you got to drive the 15 miles back. Anyway, so it's middle of nowhere type of thing. Has everybody seen my shirt? I had it on there. Who knows the Golden Girls? Oh, so I was saying the clue on my name. So my last name has an H that's silent, and it's actually a little small, which now would be a suburb of Manchester. So it's a little tiny town. That's where my ancestors came from. That name, that town's name, and it's my last name. But the H in it is silent. My first name, you pronounce the H. Over in England, you wouldn't. You would say it without the H. But my mother liked the H sound in it, more the Italian pronunciation of my first name. And so, not Howard. I like the Golden Girls too. Van life. There has been some dang good guesses. Aisha, dang good guesses. I was trying to think. Howard. I married a Howard Johnson. I married a girl with the last name Johnson. And our neighbor as a kid was Howard Johnson, like the hotel, but he didn't know himself. My wife's last name, maiden name, was Johnson. Howell? No. I know some Howells. Wayne would be good. Like John Wayne. Gary. No, not Gary. Like Gary Cooper. Who knows Gary Cooper? What's that 80s '80s group that's doing the Ritz, living up the Ritz. Something like Gary Cooper. I always liked Gary Cooper in Sergeant York, and then The Story of the Yankees, where he plays Lou Gehrig. There's one where he's Mr. Deeds. It's not too bad. I liked Farewell to Arms, which is an Ernest Hemingway, just basically autobiographical of Ernest Hemingway's time as an ambulance driver in World War One. Frank, no, but I do have an Uncle Frank. Derek C. Williams at Taco Sun, putting on the Ritz taco. I have to go look that up. Fred, I did have an uncle. Oh, well, great uncle is my mom's uncle, and his last name was Meyer, Fred Meyer. So let's talk about Fred Meyer, my uncle. Uncle Freddie, we call him Freddie. Uncle Freddie, and he at 2 years old he came from Germany, and they went through Ellis Island, and they lived in Brooklyn, and he was of course a Dodger fan. And then the Dodgers moved to LA, and he moved out there around the same time, and his address was actually Hollywood. He lived right in Hollywood, and big time Dodger fan. And he was worked for the Sears. He was a big he was a executive for Sears Company. But he loved clocks. He collected clocks. We'd go into his house, and like on the hour, cuckoo clocks would come out, chime. Thomas. Oh. I'm gonna have to go look that song up, Derek C. Williams. So that, cause I know he says something about Gary Cooper in there, but I don't know exactly. Like putting on the Ritz. I'm gonna look as good as Gary Cooper or something, but I don't know the rhyme. I don't know the. I'm gonna have to go look it up because I like old movies. So I was too young when the Putting on the Ritz came out, but I've watched it since then and know about it. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen the MTV video, but not when it first came out. Kevin. No Kevin. I can't think of. I know some Kevins, but there's no Kevins in my family. Kevin Bacon. 7 Degrees. Kevin Costner. Chester. I grew up near Chester, Idaho. Well, didn't grow up. When I was 16, almost 17. Sounds like my cat. Kevin Johnson. Who's Kevin Johnson? Oh, the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, okay. My mind wasn't thinking athletes. Kevin Spacey. Creepy. He's kind of ruined himself for me. He had some good movies. The Usual Suspects is probably my favorite of his. Good grief, that was a good one. I just remember being totally surprised at the end. Maybe I was more gullible back then, but Kevin Conroy, like the Batman animation, or Kevin Durant. I recognize that one. Are you a Phoenix Suns fan, Derek? I got a buddy that's big time Phoenix Suns fan. Oh yes, okay. Oh, I got a friend. He's a huge Buffalo Bills fan, and then he's a Phoenix Sun. You're a Barkley fan. He's like I don't know. I think it started a little before that he started liking. It was back when we were in high school though, and so that had been about the right time. Because I was in junior high when he first went to the Suns. Anyway, he's liked him like that since that time. But I remember when Steve Nash was talking. I gotta give my brother credit because my brother would. I liked Steve Nash. I thought he was a heck of a player, and I was talking about it one time with my brother. He's like, "White trash," because he always had the long hair. And I teased my buddy. He's like, "Oh yeah," and going off. He always would tell him about how great his teams are. He'll talk about the Buffalo Bills. And I'll say the Buffalo Bills. I'm like, oh yeah, they're a great team. Remember when they had O.J. Simpson? And he's like, no, Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly's the best. Thurman Thomas, he's the best. And but back to Steve Nash, I remember giving him crap about that. He's like, you're swearing, calling him white trash. I'm like, Christian Laettner. Did he play for the Suns? I only remember him playing for Duke. I know he played in the NBA, but he had the NCAA finals. That's all I remember him. Christian. I know Christian, unless I'm Christian. Chester A. Arthur. President of the United States. Chester Copperpot. Name that movie. Chester Copperpot. Name that movie. Theodore, Alvin, Simon, Theodore. Chester, Pennsylvania. Where's that close to in Pennsylvania? Nobody knows about Chester Copperpot? Where that movie comes from? Let me think of another line from the movie. Not the hand! Not the hand! I wanted to play the violin! Oh. Let's see. Haha, the Goonies. Hey, you guys! SF Rose. SF Rose might have won. What did you have it to? Oh, you had the Goonies. Yes. I was talking about the name. You did get it. What is what?
Cat.
Is he not here?
I just let him out. I just don't know where he is.
Oh. Alexander, no. Anthony. Okay, so in 5 minutes, we're going to go over to Carolina Hillbilly and raid his channel. A Listen Well raid. you want to say hi? Come here. No. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. Come say hi. Say hi. Hi. You say hi? This is Oats. Oh. Alright, thanks for coming, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock sharp. Thanks, Derek. We're gonna go over to Carolina Hillbilly and rate his channel. And I will see everybody tomorrow at 2 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock Eastern time. I'm dropping a link. Go over there and raid. Go over there and raid and say that Listen Well sent you. Thanks, Aisha. I appreciate it. Thanks, Amy Conoval. SF Rose, thank you. Carter Club, thank you. Expedition Greg, thank you for coming. TR Show, thank you. Derek C. Williams, thank you. Melnetty Living. Free Zip Clubless, thank you for coming. Aisha, thank you. And you had the most guesses. You were going to get to it, I know it. Thanks everybody for coming. I know I'm probably missing some people. See you tomorrow. Let's see. I'm gonna end this.